My first job was because of a connection I made because of presentation. And then the other jobs that I've had have all come because of things I did outside of my job, making presentations, giving things away in just spirit of just wanting to make a contribution. Presentation is now more important than ever before. And it can be a great differentiator for you. Now, if you're looking for a job, if you're a younger person, maybe in high school or in college, or no matter your age, but you're looking to get out there, if you just hand in your resumes, answer different job openings, you're competing with thousands of people often, and the numbers are not in our favor, usually. So having an in somehow. Now, if you were born rich and famous, or at least rich, you may have some connections. But for the rest of us, we have to make those connections. So there's a phrase in Japanese that is kao ga hiroi hito, which is like a person with many connections that you make yourself. And if I understand it correctly, kone, like connection, kone is very different. That would be if your mother or father were very rich or famous or something, and then they open doors for you. But for most of us, we don't have that. So something like presentation, there are other things, but since that's my area, and I think it's an area that is something that many of us can improve on, and it can make a real difference in our career. So what I want to show you in this video is that for the past 33 years, I'm 63 now. So since the time I was in graduate school at the University of Hawaii, my first job was because of a connection I made because of presentation. And then the other jobs that I've had have all come because of things I did outside of my job, making presentations, giving things away in just spirit of just wanting to make a contribution. Not necessarily trying to get something back, but when you contribute, honestly, just because you care about the organization or the group that you're working with, or it's just fun and you want to give back through presentation or lecture or helping out, when you do that, actually you get back much, much more. And so I didn't do these presentations trying to get a job, but the thing is, it actually did lead to jobs. Okay, so let's begin at the East-West Center in graduate school. So I was at the University of Hawaii and at the East-West Center. And it was at the East-West Center that I was volunteering, helping some of the people out with, like intercultural communication seminars. So I was doing that, and we had a group in from Korea and from Japan. And one of the people from Japan who had seen me present a section of the seminar, I guess she liked it, and so she thought, hey, why don't you, would you like to work for us? And this was a really, really large company, one of the Zaibatsu, huge, huge organization. So yeah, this was a great opportunity for me. So they found me, and then they asked me. So that was, that was my in, because I did that presentation, because I volunteered to work, not getting paid. It wasn't part of my curriculum or anything like that, but was in my field and it's something I'm interested in. That led to the job at Sumitomo Electric in Osaka. Then, when I was a worker there, that was going really well. But outside of work, plus alpha, I think we say in Japanese, which is just the idea of doing extra things. So I was doing extra things outside of work. So I was presenting for different business groups, international communication groups, maybe English-speaking groups. And then I got interested in I've always been interested in Apple and the Macintosh since I was, in college. But I volunteered to present for the Kinki Mac users group. Kinki means Western Japan. So it's a big Apple or Macintosh user group. And because of being involved there, that led to them asking me, I guess because of the presentations that I did, would you like to be president? And so I became president, and then I got involved doing volunteer work for Apple user groups and Apple in New York and in Cupertino and Silicon Valley, just getting involved in the community, which is not a paid gig at all. But then that led to Apple saying, hey, would you like to work for us? And there's a job there in marketing communications. So, of course, I had to do the resume and went through 7 or 8 different interviews just on the phone in those days. So I didn't go back to Cupertino. But eventually, yeah, I did get that job. So, that's because of presenting for nothing, just because I wanted to make a contribution. That actually led to a good job at Apple. And then when I was at Apple, of course, I was still doing presentations outside and, for different business groups and so on. And someone in an audience someplace in Japan who was a university professor. He said, well, hey, why don't you come to work for us? Would you ever consider being a university professor in our management department? And so, yeah, so I did that. So after I left Apple, I joined Kansai Gaidai University in the management department. And I've been doing that now for over 20 years. And then along the way, because I'm still just, giving it away, this time on the website, on presentationzen.com, doing lots of free presentations, but now more corporate gigs and more keynotes in different countries all over the world. Because I was giving it away online, that led to these other jobs. So as a university professor, of course, you're still encouraged to write books and to do conferences and keynotes and so on. So that's sort of my fourth job, which is being an author and then a seminar leader, a consultant. And so that's job number 4. So all of these jobs that I've had in the past 33 years have come not from sending in, like a cold call, not from coldly, I don't know how you say it, not from just answering a job posting or sending in applications, but because of the connections that I made. Not because of connections that I had, but connections that I made, not by being overly aggressive at all, but looking for opportunities where I could make a contribution by presenting what I know. So you could see this could apply really to anyone, any kind of teacher, anyone in the health field, a medical doctor or a nurse, an x-ray technician, whatever, certainly a lawyer or someone involved with legal things, nutritionists. There's so many different areas where you could take your expertise outside of perhaps your official job duties. It could be politics, whatever, but you make a contribution by becoming a pretty skilled presenter and communicator, knowing something about visuals and how to put that together in a way that's way above average, way above what most people will do, and that will leave an impression. And you do so not because you're trying to get something from that group or from that organization, but because you're interested in it and you want to make a contribution. And doing that will actually possibly lead to other connections, which may lead to different gigs or maybe even a full-time job down the line. So that's the purpose of me making this rambling video, was to say no matter where you are in your career path, if you can improve your presentation skills and then use those skills and that new design knowledge to get out there and volunteer, but you get out there and you give it away wherever you can, and then eventually that could lead to job offers or to other connections that are very mutually beneficial. Whether AI is going to change the world in unbelievable ways or it doesn't, one thing is for sure, that you can't replace the human soul. And when it comes to communication, making presentations live or recording yourself into a camera, that is something that is distinctly human. And of course you can do it with artificial means, but I think the real differentiator is going to be those people, those organizations who can really make authentic, honest connections, imperfect as they may be, but more real and more genuine. So I wrote this book, Presentation Zen, almost 20 years ago. It's in its 3rd edition now, which came out about 4 or 5 years ago. So there's nothing about AI in it, but even if I rewrote the book today or did a 4th edition, I don't think I'd really put anything about AI in it because it's so ephemeral, it changes all the time. And in fact, in Presentation Zen, I don't even talk about software. I might mention Canva or PowerPoint once or twice, but it's really about the concepts for how to prepare in a very clear and simple way, but in a deep way, in deep ways that can make connection. And then how to create visuals using traditional design principles such as contrast and unity and all these different kinds of things. So although the book is now 4 years old, I wouldn't change anything really that's in it. So the principles still hold. Plus, it looks really good on a coffee table. So if it's a good conversation starter. If you just want to put it on the table, kind of reminds you to be simple.